Everyone has goals. Better health, more money, more discipline, more control. Everyone sits in the dark at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, and hallucinates about a version of themselves that is unstoppable. A version of themselves that finally figures it out. But here is the cold, hard, and brutal reality. Most people will stay exactly the same until the day they are buried in the ground. Not because they don't want it badly enough, not because they are inherently lazy or lacking intelligence, not because they lack some magical spark of inspiration or a big break. The reason is much simpler and much more terrifying. Goals do not change behavior. Goals inspire emotion. Systems shape identity. And this is the catastrophic mistake you've been making your entire life. You believe that if you just aim higher, if you just dream bigger, if you just manifest harder, you will magically become better. But humans do not rise to the level of their goals. They fall to the level of their systems. If your systems are weak, your goals are nothing but a cruel joke you play on yourself every New Year's Eve to feel better about your own stagnation. Today, we are going to kill the dreamer and birth the architect. I am going to give you 5 non-negotiables, 5 laws of internal architecture that govern the elite, the relentless, and the undeniable. Pay attention to the 5th one. It is the anchor. It is the one that prevents the entire structure of your soul from collapsing when the storm hits. If you miss the 5th law, you are just building another house of cards in a hurricane. Let's look at the hook, the feeling of starting. Goals feel powerful. They give you a hit of hope, a cheap, fast-acting dopamine spike that makes you feel like change is already happening just because you thought about it. But then the morning comes, and nothing has changed. The room is the same temperature, the bed is just as comfortable, and the same internal resistance is there, waiting for you. That's when the villain of this story appears. I call him the negotiator. The negotiator is that voice in your head that wakes up the second your alarm goes off. He's reasonable, he's logical, he's kind. He says, "We can start tomorrow. We had a long day yesterday. We deserve a break. 1 more hour of sleep won't kill the dream." The problem isn't you. The problem is that a goal is a destination, but it doesn't give you a map. A goal is a what, but it lacks a how. A goal doesn't tell you what to do when you're exhausted. It doesn't protect you when your emotions spike or when you've had a bad day at work. Goals exist in a fantasy future. Systems operate in the brutal, unfeeling present. And your life is only lived in the present. If you cannot govern the present, you will never own the future. Your brain is not designed to make you successful, wealthy, or fit. It is designed to keep you alive. It cares about 3 things: efficiency, safety, and conserving energy. Change in any form is a chaos to your brain. Effort is a perceived threat to your survival. When you rely on goals, every single action requires a fresh decision. Should I work out today? Should I skip the sugar? Should I start that project? Every decision costs energy. Every decision increases the friction. And eventually, the negotiator wins because you simply run out of fuel.
You suffer from decision fatigue, and you default back to who you were. Think about a story many of us heard growing up, the story of the iron bridge on the River Ware. In the old world, bridges were built with hope and timber. When the floods came, the bridges washed away. People would stand on the banks and wish for a stronger bridge. They had the goal of crossing the water. Then came the engineers. They didn't just have a goal, they had a system of measurements, of tension, of metallurgy. The iron bridge was built using a system of interlocking parts that used the weight of the traffic to actually strengthen the structure. The more pressure you put on the bridge, the tighter the joints became. Most people try to build their lives out of wood and rope, out of feelings and wishes, and then they wonder why they wash away when the first rain of bad luck comes. You need to become the iron bridge. You need a system that uses the pressure of life to make you stronger. Disciplined people aren't superheroes. They aren't born with a special willpower gene. They just have better architecture. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" because they've already removed the option to feel. They've already decided. The decision was made weeks ago when the system was designed. Identity follows behavior, not the other way around. You don't become disciplined.
You don't act to feel motivated. You act so you can become disciplined. Stop asking what you want to achieve. That's for amateurs. Start asking what system makes failure impossible. Here are your 5 non-negotiables, the laws of the iron bridge. Non-negotiable number 1, the zero decision morning. The moment you wake up, you are at your most vulnerable. The negotiator is at his strongest. It's cold. The bed is warm. Just 5 more minutes. You kill the negotiator by removing the choice. You don't wake up and decide what to do. You execute a pre-written script. Your gym clothes are already on the chair. Your water is on the nightstand. Your first 3 tasks were decided last night. You don't think, you don't feel, you become a biological algorithm. When you remove the need to make decisions in the morning, you save your willpower for the battles that actually matter. Structure is not a cage. It is a suit of armor that protects you from your own weakness. Non-negotiable number 2, the law of the floor. Forget your ceiling. Forget your best days when the sun is out and you feel like a god. Anyone can be great when they feel great. The elite are defined by their floor. Design a minimum standard that you hit even when you are sick, even when you are grieving, even when you are traveling. If your goal is an hour of study, your floor is 10 minutes. If your goal is a heavy gym session, your floor is 20 push-ups. You never, ever break the floor. Consistency is the only thing that convinces your brain that you are a new person. Intensity is just ego. Consistency is character. The floor ensures that even on your worst day, you are still moving the needle. Non-negotiable number 3, the environmental sterilization. Stop trying to resist temptation with your mind. Your mind is weak. Just remove the temptation from your sight. If you struggle with distractions, put the phone in another room. If you eat junk food, don't have it in the house. If you spend time with people who drain your ambition, stop answering the phone.
You are a product of your surroundings. Discipline isn't about being stronger than your environment. It's about being smart enough to design an environment that does the work for you. If you are in a room full of smokers, eventually you will smoke. If you are in a room full of winners, eventually you will win. Choose your room. Non-negotiable number 4, the 48-hour momentum rule. Life is chaotic. You will trip, you will miss a day, a crisis will happen, but you never, ever miss 2. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new destructive habit. The 48-hour rule is your line in the sand. It is the boundary that protects your momentum from turning into a total collapse. When you miss a day, you don't punish yourself. You just make damn sure that the next 24 hours are perfect. Momentum is the most expensive thing you own. Don't let it leak away through a second day of laziness. Non-negotiable number 5, the integrity anchor. This is the one that holds the world together. Most people act to get a result. They work out to lose weight. They work to make money. But results are fickle. Results are slow. When the results don't come fast enough, and they never do, most people quit because their motivation dies. You must stop acting for the result and start acting for the integrity. When you do the work, you aren't doing it for the what. You are doing it for the who. You are doing it because you are the type of person who does not break a promise to themselves. Every time you follow your system, you are casting a vote for your new identity. When the results are slow, your identity is what keeps you standing. If you lose the money, if you lose the followers, if you lose the weight, you still have your word. And a person who trusts their own word is the most dangerous person on the planet. Motivation is a guest that stays for a night, drinks your wine, and leaves you with the bill. Non-negotiables are the walls, the roof, and the foundation of the house. Stop asking how to feel motivated. That's the question of a child. Start asking what your laws are. Build a life that doesn't need you to be in the mood to be great. Your future will not be decided by your dreams. It will be decided by your defaults. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. And the moment you understand that, everything changes. If this message reached the parts of you that are tired of being weak, tired of being a ghost of your potential, subscribe to Inner Discipline. Like the video if you are ready to stop negotiating and start building your iron bridge. This isn't a dream. This is the blueprint. Inner Discipline.